Suppose if I divide here 6, I divide by 2. Okay. So you get 3 as your quotient. So here quotient you get as 3. And what is the remainder? Remainder is 0. And what do you say? You also say that 2 is a factor of 6, isn't it? This is what you say. And how do you get the other factor? In order to get the other factor, what you do is you divide 6 by 2 to get 3. So 3 is the other factor. 3 is the other factor, right? So 6 has been written as a product of two factors. What are they? 2 and 3. How did we get the factors? First, I knew 2 to be a factor, right? So, in fact, I knew the dividend to be 2. So I divided 6 by 2 to get my quotient. And when I saw that when the remainder was 0, I concluded that 2 must be a factor of 6. Okay. Previously, I did not know. I only knew 2 to be any dividend. Okay. I did not know whether 2 is a factor. So once I divided 6 by 2, then I came to know that the remainder is 0. Then I said that 2 must be a factor of 6. Now, once I know that 2 is a factor of 6, 2 is one factor of 6, is a factor of 6. How do I get the other factor? I divided 6 by the factor that I know, and I got the second factor, which is 3. So what I did was I have expressed 6 as a product of two factors, 2 and 3. Okay. And if I suppose if I divide 7 by 2, here what do I get? I get 3.5. In fact, what I get here is the quotient as 3 and my remainder as
3.5.
1, isn't it? So can I say that 2 is a factor of 7? No. We say 2 is not a factor of 7, right? We say that 2 is not a factor of 7. Okay. And that's how. So that means when the remainder is 0, when you're dividing two numbers or two algebraic expressions for that matter, if the remainder is 0, then you can easily say that the dividend must be a factor of the divisor. Okay. So that is something that you already know. Okay. We shall simply apply this for in this here. Okay. Now, if you see here, factor theorem actually comes from remainder theorem only. That is, remember in your remainder theorem, you are looking for remainders, right? When one polynomial was divided by the other. So if the remainder was non-zero, you said, okay, fine, that is the remainder. But when you get the remainder 0, then you say that it is a factor.
Not.
Okay. So that is what you must know. Let us start with these two examples that I have given you. Here, I have taken fx is equal to, if you see fx is equal to 2x square minus 3x minus 6. Okay. This is your dividend. Okay. And I have divided this by x minus 2.
X minus 2.
This is your divisor. Okay. And what I have got here after dividing is I have got, if you see on dividing, I've got 2x square minus 3x minus 6 as my quotient. And I have got minus 9 as my remainder. Right? Isn't it? This is what I have got. Now in the second example, what I have done is I have taken another polynomial, a quadratic polynomial, 2x square minus 11x plus 5. And I have divided this by 2x minus 1. Okay. I have divided this by 2x minus 1. So what I see here is that the quotient that I am getting is x minus 5. And I am getting a remainder of 0. So when comparing with numbers, what can you say? Can you say that x minus 2 is a factor of this? Can you say? You cannot say, because you are getting a non-zero remainder here, right? So here x minus 2 is not a factor. X minus 2 is not a factor of 2x square minus 3x minus 6, as remainder is equal to minus 9, which is not equal to 0. You're getting a non-zero remainder, right? But here you're getting a 0 remainder in the second case. So here I say 2x minus 1 is a factor of 2x square minus 11x plus 5. Right? Now, if you remember, I gave you the example of 6. I told you that once I know that 2 is a factor of 6, how do I get the other factor? I divide 6 by 2 to get 3. So I get 3 as the other factor. So in this case, if you see here, 2x minus 1 is a factor here, right? Of 2x square minus 11x plus 5. How do I get the other factor? Since this was my dividend, you can compare it to 6, and you can compare this with 2, and this is your divisor. So what do you do to get the other factor? You can divide the dividend by the divisor or the factor to get the other factor, right? And how do you divide? How do you divide by the other factor? See, I've already done the division here. See, I'm getting x minus 5 as my quotient, right? Here, if you see, x minus 5 is the quotient and the remainder is 0. So when I divide 2x minus 1 by 2x square minus 11x plus 5, the other factor that I get is, the other factor that I get is x minus 5. And what you also see is that 2x square minus 11x plus 5, what is the power of x here? That is, what is the degree of this polynomial? 2.
2.
This has been split into two linear factors, 2x minus 1 and x minus 5. So you get two linear factors, right? Both powers of x are 1. So if you add up these two powers, you actually get a 2. Okay, you actually get this 2. Similarly, for a cubic polynomial, you'll get 3 linear factors. For a biquadratic polynomial, you get 4 linear factors. Okay, remember this. Next, we discuss the next important concept, which is called the zero of a polynomial. Okay, let us consider this very simple polynomial. Right. Now here, let us put x is equal to 5. Therefore, what do you get? F5 is equal to 2 into 5 square minus 11 into 5 plus 5, which comes out to be 0. Now you see, when you put x is equal to 5, this polynomial vanishes. So for x is equal to 5, fx vanishes. Let's say, let me write the full polynomial. Say for x is equal to 5, 2x square minus 11x plus 5 vanishes. Therefore, we call 5 is a 0 of the polynomial two x square minus 11x plus 5. Okay. Similarly, you can have another 0. Okay, you can have another 0. Let us say I try with, say, 1/3. Put x is equal to 1/3. So what do you get? F 1/3 is equal to 2 into 1/3 square minus 11 into 1/3 plus 5. You will see that this does not come to be 0. This is not equal to 0. Therefore, we say that 1/3, or let's say x is equal to 1/3, is not a 0 of the polynomial
How not 0?
2x square minus 11x plus 5. Okay. So whatever value of x that you put, and if you get the value of the polynomial as 0, you call that value to be the 0 of the polynomial. Similarly, if in the same polynomial, if you put x is equal to half, you get f half is equal to 2 into half square minus 11 into half plus 5, which you can simplify to get
1 by
a 0 here. Okay. So therefore, since by putting x is equal to half, you're getting a 0, you say x is equal to half is a 0 of the polynomial. Polynomial 2x square minus 11x plus 5. So how many zeros
the
does this
first is
polynomial
not
have?
equal to 0. Why?
Which one?
So the first one is not equal to 0. Why?
I'm just taking random values. First I put x
Oh,
is equal to 5, I got a 0. So I said, okay, this is the 0 of the polynomial. Then I took another value, say x is equal to 1/3. I could have taken 1/5 also. Okay. Then I said that since I was not getting 0, so I said it is not a 0 of the polynomial. Then randomly I took another value, say x is equal to half, and I got a 0. So I said this is a 0 of the polynomial. Understood? So what are the zeros of the polynomial that we are getting? Therefore, the polynomial 2x square minus 11x plus 5 has how many zeros? Has two zeros. That is, at what values? X is equal to, for what value have we got? We've got for x is equal to 5, right? Yes, 5 and 1, 5 and half. For x is equal to 5 and x is equal to half. Okay. So for x is equal to 5 and for x is equal to half, these x is equal to 5 and x is equal to half are called the 0 of the polynomial. Okay. Now we'll come to the main factor theorem. Once you know any particular value or any set of values to be the 0 of the polynomial, here we know uh, two values to be the zeros of the polynomial. Let us consider x is equal to 5. Suppose I know x is equal to 5 to be the 0 of the polynomial. So we write, since x is equal to 5 is a 0 of the polynomial 2x square minus 11x plus 5. Therefore, now comes the factor theorem. So once we know a 0, then we can say from x is equal to 5, since x is equal to 5 is 0, that means we can write x minus 5 is a factor of 2x square minus 11x plus 5. Right? This you can say by factor theorem. I'll give you the formal statement of factor theorem after this. But just know the working rule of factor theorem. Okay. Also, we know that x is equal to half is a 0 of the polynomial. So since x is equal to half is a 0 of 2x square minus 11x plus 5, that means x minus half is a factor of 2x square minus 11x plus 5.
plus 5.
That means now if you simplify this, you take the LCM, you get 2x minus 1 by 2 is a factor of 2x square minus 11x plus 5. That means now this you can write as the product of half and 2x minus 1 right? Now what you see here is that half into 2x minus 1 is a factor. So therefore you can say half and 2x minus 1 are factors of 2x square minus 11x plus 5. Now, since we are dealing with polynomials only, we normally don't take half. We normally take 2x minus 1 to be a factor. So we write 2x minus 1 is a factor of 2x square minus 11x plus 5. That's it. Okay. So once we get the zero of a polynomial, you can get the factors very easily. Only one zero if you get. Here, luckily, we have got two zeros. We have got x is equal to 5 and x is equal to half. So we got both the zeros. So that's okay. But even if you get a single zero, we'll see in the coming in the later problems that only if you can search for one zero of the polynomial, then you can easily say that that this is a factor, and then you can factorize it very easily also. Okay, we'll see in the sums that will come later. Okay, so let us now state the factor theorem formally. What is the statement of factor theorem? Factor theorem states that if x is equal to alpha is a zero of the polynomial fx, then x minus alpha is a factor of fx. That means one factor of fx is x minus alpha. As I showed you, remember in the last previous example, x is equal to 5 was a factor. So what did I say? X minus 5, x minus 5 is a 0. So I said x minus 5 is a factor, isn't it? So it follows from factor theorem only. This is the formal statement of factor theorem. Okay, now we'll solve some problems with the help of factor theorem. Some examples. See this example. If you see, the question here is, show that 2x plus 1 is a factor of 4x cubed plus 12x square plus 11x plus 3. Okay, you have to show 2x plus 1 is a factor. So what you do here is, you start by putting 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, once you put 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, you get x is equal to minus 1. Right, now you check whether x is equal to minus half is a 0 of the given polynomial. So I say let fx is equal to 4x cubed plus 12x square plus 11x plus 3. Okay, we shall check whether x is equal to half minus half is a 0 of the polynomial fx. Okay, so how to check? Putting x is equal to half minus half in fx, we get if you put x is equal to minus half, you get f minus half is equal to 4 times minus half cube plus 12 into minus half square plus 11x
Plus
plus
11
plus 11 into
half
minus half
minus.
plus 11 into minus half
Yes, sir.
plus 3. Now I have shown you the calculation here. You check this, you see that this will come to be 0. I've shown you the calculation in the notes. Okay, now once you know that x is equal to minus half is a 0, so therefore we say that x is equal to minus half is a 0 of the polynomial. Let's say 0 of fx, simply 0 of fx. So therefore what can you say? By factor theorem you can say x plus half is a factor of fx. This you can say by factor theorem. Right? Now you simplify this, you will get half 2x plus 1 is a factor of fx. Yes, any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So that means you say 2x plus 1 is a factor of fx. That's it. You have shown. That is what the question was. Show that 2x plus 1 is a factor. And that is how you proceed. Okay. Easy enough for you. So now if you see from factor theorem, there are two types of problems that you will get. First, to check whether linear polynomial is a factor, just as the last problem I solved, to check whether 2x plus 1 is a factor of this. So this is type 1. Okay. You check whether this is a factor of a given polynomial. Or what you can be given is that you can be given type 2 type of problem is that you can be given a polynomial and simply you will be asked to look for factors. Okay. Understood? Any polynomial will be given as a factor and you will be asked to look for other factors. Okay. So this is type 1 is a more easy type of problem which we have solved earlier just now, that show that 2x plus 1 is a factor of fx. So that is very easy to solve, right? Now type 2 is a little more on the technical side, a little more lengthier than type 1. Okay, so let us see this question. I have written the question here. Luckily in this note I have written all the questions. Okay, so I don't need to write the questions here anymore. I'll just go through you check in your textbook and give the appropriate sum numbers in your copies. Okay. The question here is this is I think type 1. Okay, or is it? No, this is type 2. Fine. The question here is show that 2x plus 7 is a factor of the given polynomial here. Can anyone tell me what kind of a polynomial this is? Can anyone tell me what kind of a polynomial this is?
Cubic.
Cubic polynomial. How many linear
Cubic,
factors?
sir.
How many linear factors should a cubic polynomial have?
3.
3.
Sir,
Because the
3.
power of because the power of x is 3, therefore it must have 3 linear factors. So let us start this problem. The question here is show that 2x plus 7 is a factor. Okay. So I start by saying let fx is equal to 2x cube plus 5x square minus 11x minus 14. Okay, this is how we start. Now you need to show that 2x plus 7 is a factor. So what my first step is to put 2x plus 7 is equal to 0. So that you get x is equal to minus 7 by 2. Okay, so let us now check whether x is equal to minus 7 by 2 is a 0 of fx. How do you check? You have f, you put x is equal to minus 7 by 2 in the polynomial to get f minus 7 by 2 twice minus 7 by 2 cube plus 5 minus 7 by 2 square minus 11 minus 7 by 2 minus 14. You put it here and you check, you will get a 0. Okay. So what you see here is that you can say therefore x is equal to minus 7 by 2 is a 0 of fx. That means you can say x plus 7 by 2 is a factor of fx. Why factor theorem? That means now you can say half of 2x plus 7. That is, after you take the LCM, you will get 2x plus 1 by 2, which can be written as half 2x plus 7 is a factor of fx. That means now you can say that 2x plus 7 is a factor of fx. Okay, no questions till this part. We have done this part earlier in the last problem also. There shouldn't be a question, and this is easy enough. The next part is to find the other factors. See, the question here is factorize the given expression completely. So you should be getting three factors. You've already got one factor, right? You've got 2x plus 7. You have to look for two more factors. So how do you look? If you remember, I told you, I give you the simple example where 6 was divided by 2. So you knew 2 other factor after dividing. And then to get the other factor, what were you doing? You're dividing 6 by 2 to get the other factor, 3. So similarly here, once I know 2x plus 7 to be a factor, we are going to divide fx by this factor, dividing 2x plus 7, dividing fx by dividing fx by 2x plus 7. And you will have to show the division here. Okay. So let us carry out the division very quickly. I don't think I have to explain this much because you have already done this in your class 8. 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 11x minus 14. Okay, so first you have a 2x, you have a 2x cubed, so you need how much? You need an x squared. So x squared into 2x plus 7 will give you 2x cubed plus 7x squared. So write an x square on top, and you have 2x cubed plus 7x square. Okay. And now you subtract. This cancels. So now you get minus 2x square minus 11x. So here you have a 2x, and here you have a minus 2x square. How much do you need to multiply 2x by to make it a 2x square? You need a minus 2x. So you multiply minus 2x with 2x plus 7. Sorry, you need a minus x, in fact. Okay, so you need minus x. So you need to multiply minus x with 2x plus 7. You get minus 2x square minus 7x. So you have here minus 2x square minus 7x. Subtract. This cancels. Now you have a minus 4x minus 14. So 2x, how much you need to multiply 2x by to make it minus 4? Minus 4x. You need to multiply it by minus 2. So minus 2 into, and of course you will write this minus x that you have multiplied by, you'll write on top here first. Okay, now we'll come to the next step. That is 2x. You need to multiply 2x by minus 2 to make it minus 4x. So you have minus 2 into minus into 2x plus 7. So you get minus 4x minus 14. So you get minus 4x minus 14, right? So you get a 0 here. So, and here you will write here, what have you multiplied this 2x plus 7 by? Minus 2. So you'll write a minus 2. So what have we got? You see that you're getting a remainder 0. This is your quotient, right? So therefore, you can write 2x cube as 2x plus 7 into this quotient that you have got here on top, right? Now this is a quadratic polynomial which can further be factorized by middle term factorization. So you factorize this by middle term now. so that now you are getting three factors. You are getting 2x plus 7 as one factor, and this one you can write as a product of x minus 2 and x plus 1. So this was the cubic polynomial, power was 3, and you're getting three factors, linear factors, power 1, power 1, power 1. Okay. Now sometime what
Excuse me, sir.
happens? Tell me.
Sir, we have done middle term factorization. X square
Yes.
minus 2x
Hmm.
plus.
Yeah, this one we have done middle term
Yes,
factorization.
yes.
Because we
Yes,
are
sir.
getting,
Thank you.
after dividing, we are getting a quadratic polynomial as a quotient, right? So we split this into two linear factors by middle term factorization. Okay.
Okay.
So that is how you split. Now, sometimes what happens is that this quadratic polynomial that you may get, it is none, hardly you get. You till now in class 10 you haven't got that kind of a problem. But this quadratic polynomial sometimes cannot be split, so you keep it. If it cannot be factorized further, you keep it this way. Okay. But ultimately, the point is that you can still split it into three factors. Even if you are not able to factorize, any cubic polynomial will always have three factors. Okay. You'll see it in the higher classes. I'll stop here for today.